Ah yes, the Acolyte, the newest edition of Disney Star Wars TV shows after they brought us Ahsoka, Kenobi, and of course, the Book of Boba Fett. We know this has to be a gem to look towards, so let's see how good it is, shall we? So we start off with an assassin hunting a Jedi to a bar, and then hits her with this.
Attack me with all your strength.
Beautiful. And then she starts beating up everyone at the Jedi's table. And what, does the Jedi just sit there and look at her the entire time? I don't understand. And of course this guy can't get his blaster out of his holster because plot.
I'm here to kill you.
This line exchange is very stupid. The Jedi Master could very easily make this inference considering she's been fighting her, along with attempting to stab her multiple times. May has taken a bystander hostage and thrown her over the balcony just to distract her. She's a threat to her and everyone else in the establishment right now. Jedi Andara pulls her lightsaber out of self-defense because multiple daggers were thrown at her, and she says the line from the Matrix. Did you guys see that? She matrixed. To which May says,
A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill.
which doesn't make any sense. It's usually pulled in self-defense, such as Obi-Wan in episode 4 when that weird nose guy pulled a blaster on Luke, but for some reason, that's how it is. Andara then drops her stance and stares at her, like, excuse me, what the fuck? May literally has weapons too, and she has repeatedly tried to stab you and hurt other people. She is a threat, just take her hands off and be done with it. Jesus Christ. So after May's attempted murder on the bartender, we get a weird edit to her sister, which if you don't know the plot leaks, this is very weird. It's cut as if Osha was having a dream about this. Maybe it's to make the audience think that until we're told by the Jedi later, I don't know. But we get our newest droid Pip, because we can't have our War Star without new droids. So this girl Osha is a mechanic.
No, I'm a mechanic.
Oh, shut the fuck up. But basically she tells her crewmate to F off because what she does in her days off are not his business. You go, girl. So they're outside in space with magnet boots. Well, at least they got that right, Ahsoka. And why aren't astromechs doing these repairs? I don't know, maybe it's cheaper or...
I'm better company than a droid.
But then we get fire in space, moving in the wind. Wait a damn minute, how is the fire moving in space? There isn't any oxygen. Oh well. But the reason we get fire in space is so Osha can remember her dramatic past. Space fire plot device? Next we have a ship come in and everyone can tell it's a Jedi ship. We get to meet...
Master Soul,
Sorry, Yord. So somehow the Jedi know from an eyewitness description that it was Osha who killed Andara. How do they know it's her? How do they know she's here specifically? I don't know, let's roll with it. We see Osha and Yord know each other. Osha reaches for her pip droid, and let me say, I like this Yord guy. Goes straight for the lightsaber. If only Trinity went for it and cut May's hands off, we'd be good. And then we get a Jedi interrogation. This makes no sense. We saw him earlier go for the mind trick to find out if Osha was on the ship. Why did they not do this on her? I have no clue. But next we get this very clunky exposition dump where Yord explains Osha's past to Osha like she didn't go through it at all.
you lost your entire family. Your mothers, your sister.
After the barkeep says, "That's her," they bring her to a new ship. But why? You came here in a ship, you suspect her of killing a Jedi, which would be a pretty big deal in these peaceful times. So they came here to question her about how long she's been a mechanic.
No, I'm a mechanic.
Okay, sorry, geez. Just to put her on another ship with only droids protecting it. Not only that, prisoners who can control droids. Why would this guy be on a droid-only prison ship?
That I was perfect and infallible in every way.
Hey, Mr. Perfect, you wet the chair.
Huh?
But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we meet our guy Soul teaching kids, even the one who can't close his eyes. Oh damn it, they didn't show him! He was in the trailer! Soul gets informed that they have Osha in custody, and she was an old Padawan of Soul. And he doesn't believe she would have done it, but apparently the evidence against her is strong. My brother in Christ, it's one eyewitness testimony. How does that... strong?
Ray shields. Wait a minute. How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
So we go back to Osha, and the prisoners are planning an escape, and they ask if she wants out. She asks what their plan is, and they want to take out the droids and use the escape pods. But if you take out the droids who are controlling the ship, why not just pilot the ship yourself? When the escape goes well, Osha wants them to free her, but 2 seconds ago she said she had faith in the Jedi.
It's time for me to bend over and receive my destiny.
Osha gets out of her cell eventually and decides no man left behind and goes to help out the other prisoner who's paralyzed by a parasite that's
used to subdue violent criminals.
When he wakes up, he pushes her out of the way and then the parasite gets away. So then she decides to strap herself in a chair and she's completely fine. Hey, remember that really cool Star Wars movie in 1977 where this cool guy named Han Solo told us how hyperspace works and it uses a navicomputer to avoid asteroid fields and other things?
From the navicomputer.
You kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
Traveling through hyperspace ain't like dust and crops, boy. Without precise calculations, we'd fly right through a star or bounce too close to a supernova and that'd end your trip real quick, wouldn't it?
We go back to Coruscant where the Jedi have captured the criminals who did the prison break, but not Osha. So you mean to tell me they went to the planet, got the escape pods, and just didn't investigate the crash site?
The Republic dispatched probe droids to survey the wreckage.
Oh good, then you would know that she's alive because lifeform scanners exist in Star Wars.
It is highly unlikely she survived.
Bitch, why didn't you go there when you found the escape pods to make sure? You think she's a Jedi killer. And you just go, meh, she didn't survive. Saul wants to go capture her himself, and the conversation between him and Green Lady basically goes, let me go. No, you're too important, we need you. I trained her. Oh, okay, you can go. We cut back to Osha having some weird force vision. I thought it was the parasite, but no, that thing is just gone. This force vision tells her that May is alive and committing all these murders, I guess. Meanwhile, Sol tells the crew he assembled that Osha has a twin sister, and Yord is like, excuse me, motherfucker, why didn't I know this? I was the one sent to question her. Well, not exactly what he says, but that's what I would have said. The Jedi reach the planet and Osha sees them and decides to run. But I thought she had...
I have faith in the Jedi.
Osha gets caught, falls off a cliff like a dumbass, and Sol saves her, and she tells him May is alive, and he immediately says, I believe you. Sol, what are you talking about? You were so convinced just minutes earlier on the ship, saying that she couldn't have survived. Well, that's episode 1, basically.
Kills the dream.
Oh shit, there's more episodes? Alright. May hires a girl to throw a rock at a gatekeeper droid so she can throw a hacking thingy on his head to enter the local Jedi temple. But why did she need to go to throw it? She could have just thrown it on his head if he wasn't looking. But okay, I guess. She hits our new Jedi with the good old-fashioned
Attack me with all your strength.
But this guy is deep in meditation, so she can just kill him easily, right? Well, wrong. It turns out this guy's got a big ol' force field stopping anything from hurting him, so she just leaves, and the other Jedi have no clue. Back on the generic ice planet, Osha tells the X-23 Padawan that she is flexible.
Way more flexible.
Yord seems like the most competent and incompetent in this show. He went for his lightsaber when he saw Osha go for something, but then he lets her go on a ship. Also ironing his robes in the middle of a common area of the ship. But anyway, Yord goes to Sol and asks if they can really trust her because she is a suspected Jedi murderer. It would be normal procedure to restrain her, and just in case, because they have no clue if she's telling the truth. Well, they could know if she's telling the truth if they used the Jedi mind trick thing on her, but I guess they forgot they set that up. Sol just says, don't let fear affect your judgment. My guy, he's being practical, but alright. Sol gets a transmission from Green Lady that a Jedi temple has been attacked, and that he should bring Osha. See, this brings up a problem. At the end of the episode, she says that they don't do stuff like this without deliberation, but she's doing the exact thing right here. I don't understand. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, of course. May meets with a guy she works with, and she says she needs something to kill the meditating Jedi. Now, I'm not sure what a poison will do to hurt him with the force field, but she's got it, and she's on her way to commit a murder. Back on the ship, Osha is linking her droid to the ship. Now, I don't know why the Jedi would have let her, but Sol is more worried about her travel tattoo.
Look at it! It's ugly, isn't it? You look at it!
And then they talk about how Osha hasn't moved on from the past, but Sol has, and it really doesn't seem like Sol has, because every single facial expression he gives is one of sorrowness and regret. May later returns to Torben to kill him, gives a whole monologue about how his past still haunts him, and okay, this Jedi has been meditating for 10 years straight, and he's a Jedi Master. How does that even work exactly? Not just the eating, but you can just stop doing your job for 10 years and still be a Jedi? If I stopped going to work for a week without telling anyone, I'm pretty sure I'd be fired, but whatever.
I've been waiting for you.
Okay, what the actual fuck do you mean? She showed up hours ago. You could have just woken up then. And then he just kills himself this time. This makes no sense. Why go fake sleep the first time and then when she comes back be like, I've been waiting for you. She was already there hours ago. So when the team was on their way to Torben, Osha heard something and breaks off of the group. Yord follows her, and she somehow makes it to the room first. What were the other Jedi doing, giving them the temple tour? Okay, here's our break room for where you can meditate for the next 10 years. So they walk in and stumble upon Osha on the body. So Yord waits for everyone to be in the room and does his dramatic walk around the corner.
How do you know?
She didn't do it.
Now I assume this is supposed to be a character moment for Yord to show that he trusts Osha more now. But just a little bit later, he doesn't even want her to have a stun gun.
Giving a civilian a weapon violates 13 precepts.
Yord, shut the fuck up. Everyone carries a blaster. Also, the two plans are both extremely stupid. Just go in there and do the mind thingy like he did to the prisoner in episode 1, and like what happens later in this episode. After they find out May is working for someone, the team come in like Chris Hansen and his crew.
Why don't you have a seat?
I just need to get home. I'm not doing the show.
Go ahead and take a seat.
But I'm not going to do this.
Take a seat right over there.
If you cooperate, we will consider letting you go with a warning.
Wait, why? He's an accomplice to a Jedi murder. Why would you do that? Man, the Sith were right.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
The Jedi in the show are just complete retards. I would say dumb, but that would be underselling how stupid they are. May later falls into their trap, and Sol and May fight.
Round 1, fight!
Sol completely outclasses her, but why can't anybody just cut her hands off? It's not lethal, and it would definitely stop her. You guys have lightsabers, she doesn't. Why the fist fighting? But Sol force grabs her and looks into her mind. Gee, if only they used this ability on Potion Worker guy. The team surrounds May, and May uses...
Pocket sand.
It was very effective. If only the Jedi didn't need their eyes. So Sol is back in the ship, and Green Lady says that they need to talk about next steps. But not on the holo computer. No. They need to go in person. But why? They know the Jedi's next target. If they beat them there, at least they have a chance to save the Jedi. And Green Lady's excuse is that they don't make decisions like this without full discussion. But you literally made the exact same decision at the beginning of the episode without needing to convene a council. While that's going on, May attacks her poison bro for selling her out, and he offers to get them off planet to get to the next Jedi. How does he have this plan? The Jedi are literally watching their every move, but for some reason when this is happening, they're looking away because they're incompetent as hell in this. Episode 2 is mostly just a waste of time, an attempted murder failing.
Hey, hurry it up with the cards, Lenny. I've got you clocked at 2 miles per hour.
Come on, put that away. Those radar guns give you cancer.
All the more reason to hurry up. Hey, what could be going 100 miles per hour?
Ah yes, the infamous episode 3. I'll go through this one quick because everyone has reviewed this. This episode... My first guess was this episode was supposed to be critical of the Jedi, but the Jedi are more stupid than bad in this episode. To begin with, I don't think the Jedi care about every single Force-sensitive child in the galaxy. I mean, they didn't even want to trade Anakin because he was too old, and they didn't even know Anakin existed, just kind of stumbled upon him in Phantom Menace. Along with this, the witches aren't portrayed as good either. As soon as the Jedi show up, they're threatening to cut out their tongues and literally mess with the Jedi Padawan's mind, who himself would be considered a teenager, like basically a kid. Also, why does Osha want to join the Jedi? How does she know about the Jedi? How does she have a positive view of the Jedi when everyone in this cult seems like they hate the Jedi? This episode also gives us our first bit of lore-breaking stuff in this series, making the witches able to create life itself by themselves, when it was the Force that created Anakin in response to Plagueis. Also, why if one of their moms has horns, do they not?
You are not the Father.
And of course you get the entire fortress being lit on fire by one single candle on brick. And of course you have the introduction of May the Psychopath at 8 years old.
I'll kill you.
Jesus, May, relax. She just wants to be heroic in her life. Why do you gotta kill her? She can still visit after she leaves. Relax. This episode is just filled with more nonsensical stuff, but we'll see how it ages when the series is over, because I bet we're going to get more to it in the next half of this show.
Unnatural. We were on the brink of extinction!
We're back to the present of this mundane murder, not so much mystery. We get to see Kalnaka, the Wookiee, is obsessed with witch symbols for some reason that we saw in the last episode. May and Ezra Miller land on the planet, while Mr. Miller says that her sister being alive doesn't change anything and she still needs to kill the Wookiee. And let's introduce our second lore break, which might be even a bigger deal. I don't know, it depends on what you think. Kiadi Mundi,
what about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Is at this meeting where they see a Force user attacking Jedi. But I thought,
impossible. The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
An apprentice who doesn't know their master. It's absurd.
This is certainly exposition, I guess.
And she killed 2 Jedi Masters.
Yeah, because one was scared to use her lightsaber, and the second was more of an assisted suicide, but we'll roll with it. Green Lady believes a Jedi taught her. How does she come to this conclusion? Well, because the hologram told her. She then devises a plan to have Kalnaka leave his post, and for the Jedi to intercept May on her way to get him. But later in this episode, they mention that they haven't heard from Kalnaka in like a year, and he hasn't responded to their messages. So wouldn't they know that he might not see those messages?
Why didn't you tell me about this?
Bitch, he literally does this at the beginning of episode 2, and you sent him off on the mission. What do you mean? We then go back to May, where Ezra Potion is questioning her about this whole killing a Jedi without a weapon thing from the speech that generic Sith number 1138.
An Acolyte kills without a weapon.
Doesn't mean all of them, apparently. She just has to kill one without a weapon. Also in his speech he says if you attack a Jedi without a weapon you will fail, so this guy is also dumb. So Yord isn't okay with Osha having a blaster, but a few minutes later he says, I am not upset, I am concerned for your safety. Motherfucker, really? Then why did you want her to give up the blaster? That's the only thing she has to defend herself. The character work in this episode is very odd. Characters make really weird decisions. For instance, May in this episode goes from, I can't believe my sister is Jedi scum, to my loyalty is to Osha, not your master, and then decides to just go good. Lady, what are you talking about? You hated your sister. You went straight to attempted murder after she wanted to join the Jedi. What are you talking about? Then her genius absolute 500 IQ play is to turn herself into the Jedi, and she thinks if she tells them about her master that they'll let her go. But A, she mentions she doesn't know her master's identity, and doesn't seem to know much about him in general, and B, she murdered one Jedi, possibly killed more people in the bar, and as far as they know, you killed Torben. But I mean, these Jedi are so dumb, I wouldn't put it past them after they let the Poison Maker off scot-free in the last episode, but anyway. May then finds Kalnaka, and he's already dead. May then finds Kalnaka, so we don't even get to see him fight. They hype him up all this time and nothing. But he's already dead. And if Poison Guy is the Sith, it makes no sense because she left while he was tied up and she got there first. Along with that, this forest makes no sense. May and Dr. Poison get there and before the Jedi, and they say we have 3 hours of sunlight left, and the Jedi are still on Coruscant when this happens. So they get to the planet, catch up to May, all before 3 hours? Remember in Star Wars when travel time was a thing? Yeah, me too. Good times. Also, if the Sith is not Potion Maker Guy, the Sith would have had to find out May was going to betray them, get to the planet, get through the forest before anyone seeing, kill Kalnaka, leave the hut, and hover around in the trees. Huh, if only Sidious knew about that trick. Yes, I know force levitation has been in the games, and some things other than that, but usually it's done to slow a fall or when you're meditating and levitating. But the bigger deal is, all of the Jedi need to die. Well, I guess they don't care because they broke the entire...
Impossible. The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
And then the Jedi just decide to straight up bold charge the Sith. I don't know. The Sith hasn't been seen in I don't know how many years at this point. They'll probably retcon this in coming episodes or something too. Now, the show has been very, I don't know, I wouldn't say divisive because it seems like it's united the fan base. But of course there are people out there that think that this show is great. But if you're someone that enjoys it, it's okay. People who like it don't have to be shills, and people who hate it don't have to be toxic or all the other things that people like to throw around. The difference is in opinions, especially in media. It's good to have these discussions online, but just because people don't like it doesn't make us toxic or anything. It makes us passionate about what we want. And wanting better storytelling isn't the worst thing in the world. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to show everyone that there are problems in the writing and a lot of inconsistencies. I can go more in depth, probably do that in part 2 when the entire series is out. And I would like to show that this isn't about the diversity, this isn't about any of that. This is about the storytelling and the writing in the story, and how so far it's really just not up to par. Thank you guys, and peace.
Put another gay diverse woman in it, make it more fucking lame!